Now we're going to start talking about repair thresholds and where those thresholds meet and how those repair thresholds work to replace a roof versus repair and what repairs are going to be taking place. So most repairs are going to be happening face by face. So I'm going to start off by going and showing you how the engine or how this script is going to be determining what repairs are going to be placed, and then we're going to go into the image inspection tab to show you how the images or the annotations are going to drive the repair versus replace and how those thresholds work. Right now I'm going to select phase 2 and we're going to hit repair. So repair, I'm going to repair phase 2. Right now it's going to default to per square. So per square is basically per 100 square feet or per roof square. So right now the damage threshold is set in the preferences is 7. So 7 damaged shingles per square. Anytime you hit repair, it's going to automatically default to at least 1. So I can go in here and say, okay, I want 4 damaged shingles per 100 square feet. This roof is 674 square feet. So that's going to be 4 damaged shingles per 100 square feet. And that's going to calculate to 27 shingles. So 27 shingles across this face are going to be repaired. If I wanted to extend that test square to other faces, then I can select which faces I want that to apply to, and then hit yes, and that's going to calculate that out. So there's 6 selected faces, so that's going to be 24 total damage damage marks. That's going to calculate to 94 shingles that are going to be replaced across these faces. So that's how the per test square works. So if I go to per shingle, that's going to calculate how many shingles are going to be replaced. Right now, if I have all these selected and I hit repair, this 6 is going to be grayed out. That's because it doesn't know which face to apply the repairs to. So it's going to default all of these shingles or all of these roof faces to 1 damaged shingle because it's marked repair. So that's why it's important to go face by face and say what you're going to be doing, and then go and apply any repairs to the faces that should be applied to. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go back to none on that, so that gets rid of that repair question. Okay, now let's go back into repair. It's going to go to per shingle because that's the last question I asked. Then I can go to per area. So right now it's going to limit the amount of square feet that can be repaired to the square footage of that face. So it's 674 square feet. And then I can say there was 34 square feet that was blown off in a windstorm. And that's going to take the 34 square feet and apply the remove and replace line item instead of the per shingle line item. So the other repairs primarily deal with per shingle. This one is going to be the remove and replace line item. So it's important that you know that and how that works. So all I need to do is say, okay, it's an average shingle, and that's going to apply that repair to that face. And then any felt that's added is going to limit that to the square footage of the square feet of the roof there, the shingles that you're going to be replacing. So I can say, okay, there was actually only 20 square feet of damaged felt that we're going to be paying for, because the felt that was not, felt was still attached to the roof when we're doing this. So now that we understand how those thresholds work, Let's go into setting those thresholds up. You can set these thresholds up if it is allowed by the carrier, or if you do not have a carrier profile with Xactimate, this is going to be available for you anyway. So you can go in here and you can go to roof repair. Each one of these thresholds is going to be determined by line item. So every roofing line item is going to have its own repair threshold. So it's important you know the industry standard or the carrier practices if you're a contractor and doing work for a carrier. But most of those should be coming down through the carrier profile. So once the thresholds are set, remember, apply this to current estimate and hit save. So that's how the thresholds are going to be placed. In the image tab, that is going to drive the script or the questions in the Geomni tab. So the image tab is primarily for annotating the model and the images to drive your reports and drive the repairs. So if you were on site and you were up on a roof and you had a laptop, a Surface Pro or something like that, then you can say, okay, I want to look at this face. I want to look at face 2. And right here it's going to have the roof that it belongs to and the face. So as I change the face selection, that's going to do two things. It's going to change the selection or the face that's identified in the roof table, and also it's going to change the images that are most applicable for that face. So it's going to filter those images and apply the most applicable images on the top. So I want to go into roof 2. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go into 2D. 2D is going to activate my repair options, and it's also going to allow me to annotate it and mark what's going on. I can change the face right here, and that's going to automatically keep me in 2D and then just navigate me around by face. Or I can go next image, next face. I can play around and navigate really quite seamlessly and easily through the images to get where I want to go. It's very important to know that the face that is active is outlined. So I can only place a test square on the active face. So I can place that test square. That is going to always be 100 square feet. And then any test square I add is going to remove the previous test square and change it. It's going to also conform to valleys and ridges, but it's always going to maintain 100 square foot area. So this is a sample area of the entire face. So if I wanted to go and mark, if I was on top of a roof and I say, okay, face 2 has X amount of hail damage, so let's say 5 damaged shingles in a 100 square foot area, that's going to calculate to 5 times 5 per 100 square feet. So in this case it's 674 square feet, whatever that calculates out to. If I wanted to add or do per shingle repair or wind, let's say in the case of wind on face 19, let's go to face 19 real quick. Let's go to face 19 and place some damaged wind markers. Okay, there was X amount of damaged shingles, let's say 5. So that's going to calculate the per shingle, the exact count of shingles that's going to be calculated. So let's hop over to face 22 and let's make a damaged area. Let's say wind came on this slope and damaged a large area. I can draw a polygon around the damage, and that's going to calculate the the square footage that I've annotated or around that polygon. This is going to be primarily useful for UAV imagery where you can actually see the damage, or if we flew a post-hurricane event and there was large areas of a roof that was removed by wind, then I can make that damage annotation of those damages, and that's going to calculate to the replace line items in Xactimate or in the Geomni tab. So these other two marks, as I said before, they're going to be per shingle. This one's going to be area. Okay, let's go into the Geomni items tab. So we have our three different damage annotation marks that's visible. I can select this individual face, and that's going to be 5 damaged shingles on face 19. Phase 2 is going to be per area, so that's going to calculate out to 34 damaged shingles. Phase 22 is going to be 51 square feet. Now let's go into what if there was enough damages to warrant a full replacement of that roof. Let's go back into this. The threshold set by this is 7, so right now we have 5. After we removed those hail markers, let's say there was enough damages on this roof to warrant a replacement. So let's take this damage and let's say we counted 7 or 8 damaged shingles across this face. So right now I'm at 6. As soon as I hit that 7th hail mark, that little green check mark right here is going to populate that this face is going to be replaced. And I can continue to add damage annotations or move on. Okay, now that face is going to be replaced. I can go over here and I can say, okay, this is no longer repair, it's a replacement activity for the entire face, and I can calculate that. Because this is going to be replaced, I want to apply that to these two faces, say yes, and then it's going to calculate replacement on all those faces.